Hello guys. So before we get into the video, I just want to say the live audio of this video didn't work, so I'm gonna have to voice over. But other than that, I'm sorry for not posting for a while. But we're starting a new survival world, so let's get into the video. So immediately when I opened up the world, I went and broke down a tree. And then I went and killed some sheep for wool. I got a total of 3 wool and went looking for a place to call home. I ended up finding an emerald ore, which I thought was pretty cool. Here are the coordinates for future me to come back to. But as I went on, I ended up finding a ruined portal. So I checked the chest. Not too many good stuff in here, but I saw some gold blocks. So I made a pickaxe, got some cobblestone so I can make a stone pickaxe, found some iron, grabbed some coal, and I ended up finding more iron, smelted that, made an iron pickaxe, and then I was able to get the gold. I found a cool cave and decided to head down. I saw there was an abandoned mineshaft. I found some iron and a chest with glowberries in it. I went around exploring the cave and I ended up finding a block of raw iron. I don't know if this is rare or not, but I thought it was cool. I went exploring for a little bit longer and found my first diamonds. So obviously I took those diamonds. I left the cave and found the old ruined portal. I remember looking back at the footage and seeing these 2 gold blocks, so I remembered to get them. I set off on the journey to find a house again, and then I finally found a village. I slept, and then marked where I was gonna place my house. I put all my stuff in a chest, made an axe, and went off to get wood. I got wood for about an hour, and got a pretty good amount of wood. I made pillars to show how big my base would be, and I cleaned out the area. I began placing the walls out of wood, and then decided I want the building to be 15 blocks tall. So I made each corner 15 blocks tall, and then began to fill in the wall. Now this used up a lot of my wood, but it was worth it. And there we go, all done. I decided to add some logs against the walls, and I had enough wood left over, so I started working on the first floor. I did end up running out of wood though, so I restocked on it. I then finished up the first floor, put torches around so I can see, and then designed the staircase. So I want slabs going all the way around the beam, so I can easily walk up. I decided to change it from oak slabs to birch slabs, and I think it was a good change for texture. I placed down a bed and slept. And then I changed the flooring on the first floor to wood. I started designing the entrance, and it took me a little bit to figure out what I actually liked. I ended up sticking with this design, and then I started working on rooms and hallways for the first floor, and this is what I came up with. Hope you like that, but now it's time to work on the second floor. First, I have to place the ladders going into this area. I might make this a storage room. I don't know yet. I started designing the second floor, and this is what I got. Okay, so now that I have the first and second floor done, I decided to get some iron armor. There we go. I started digging out a room where I'm gonna make my mine. I started digging down 3 by 1. This is because I don't have the materials to make it a water elevator yet, and this would be a lot easier. I made it all the way down to Y level -54. Placed some water so I can fall down. It took me only about 2 minutes before I found diamonds. Oh, let's go. I had a total of 8 diamonds, including the ones from my chest. I ended up going fishing for enchanted books. I did this for about 20 minutes and didn't get any luck, so I'll be back when I do get something good. 20 minutes later and I got something decent. I got an Unbreaking 3 and Lore 3 fishing rod. It wasn't really of any use because it was almost broken, so I went fishing again. I got another fishing rod, but it was only Unbreaking 3 and it was also almost broken. The fishing rod I was using the entire time finally broke. I got bored and decided to try and get diamond armor. I found a 1 vein, then I explored a mineshaft and found a 4 vein. I found another diamond, and below it was another one. I decided to double check the area just in case there were other diamonds. And luckily I did, because there was another diamond. I kept on mining, and I ended up getting up to 13 diamonds. I went and explored a water cave. I was losing oxygen, so I started traveling up to see if there was oxygen. I made it to the top of the water cave, but saw it was gravel. I know I couldn't mine it, and I started losing health, so I panicked. I left the game, and all I could think about was losing my diamonds. I joined back the game thinking that if I dig down, I can create a 2-block air gap and place a block above me to stop stop water from drowning me. It turns out I didn't dig deep enough and I started to panic. I quickly placed the block above me, but it wasn't enough time. I had lost all my diamonds and other precious materials. I respawned knowing what I just lost. I went and checked my 8 diamonds that I had in my chest, and then thought to myself, why am I letting this stop me? I gathered all the supplies I would need and headed out to the corners where I died. Knowing I had nothing to lose, I began digging down. Before I even realized it, I fell right into my loot. Everything was here. I put my diamonds in a chest and slept after a long day. I decided to finish getting all the diamonds for the diamond armor. I needed to get iron for pickaxes. I'm not sure why, but it took forever to smelt. I found a diamond in my first strip mine. I don't know how I missed this before. I spent the next hour just mining and headed back to my base. I had 49 diamonds, so I made a full set of diamond armor, and I love the new look. I grabbed enough obsidian for a nether portal and an enchantment table. I made a nether portal, and yes, with corners, and went through. The spawn was decent, but it was in a basalt delta. I checked to see if there was a nether fortress around, but there was none. I made an enchantment table and set it down. I went mining for ancient debris. I found my first pieces of ancient debris, and it was a 3 vein of ancient debris. I ended up finding soul sand, which I then used to change the ladders to a water elevator. In all this time, I was getting bookshelves so I can make a level 3 enchantment table. I realized I didn't have an efficient way to get XP, so I made a mob grinder. Let's just not talk about how I almost died. I realized I had so much to do, so I made a chart of what I had to do. The first thing I need to do is get full netherite armor. Then I needed to get enchanted gear, and finally defeat the game. So I spent the next 30 minutes getting ancient debris. I got a total of 22 ancient debris, and got full netherite armor and a pickaxe. I needed to enchant my pickaxe, so I went and mined quartz, and I found a 2 vein of ancient debris while doing this. I had 2 options for unbreaking 3. I chose the level 3 one, and I'm very happy I did. I needed a way to get mending, so I started working on a villager breeder. I got villagers, and they started breeding on their own. I spent the next 10 minutes getting mending and got the trade for 34 emeralds. So I locked in the villager trade. I needed paper, so I made a sugarcane farm. I brought a second account over so the sugarcane will still grow when I'm out doing something else. I realized I needed a new sword, so I made a netherite sword. I explored the nether for about 30 minutes, making sure I picked up every skeleton for bone blocks. This allowed me to make bone meal, which I used to grow a lot of sugarcane, which I made into paper. With the paper, I bought a lot of emeralds, and then the villagers sold out. I waited till the next day to see that it almost doubled in price. I was getting a new librarian, so I could trade 24 paper for 1 emerald, and since I was getting a new villager, I wanted the enchantment book trade to be good as well. And I got another mending trade for 20 emeralds, so obviously I had to buy it. I then made an anvil and put it on my pickaxe. I got a fletching table so I can trade sticks for emeralds. And with the emeralds I got, I was able to get another mending book. I also made a chest to put sticks in and one for paper. I had 53 gold, so I traded it with piglins hoping to get ender pearls, but I ended up getting none. I went fishing and got to level 30. And enchanted my netherite sword, and I got pretty decent enchantments. I did have a spare mending book, so I put that on my sword. I went on a mining trip for a stack of diamonds, and it only took me 40 minutes. And I went exploring through a water cave, and then there was air, and I accidentally went through another one, which took me right to my house. I knew my mob grinder wasn't that efficient, so I added 2 layers to it, and it worked really well. I was attacked by a drown, and killed him and got a trident. After I got enough XP, I enchanted a book and got efficiency 4. And I enchanted my chestplate with protection 4. I enchanted my trident with unbreaking 3 and got riptide 3 as well. I put the efficiency 4 book on my pickaxe and got efficiency 5. I traded the sticks I had left over for emeralds and got another mending book, so I put mending on my trident. I enchanted my fishing rod with unbreaking 3 and got luck of the sea 2 and lure 2. I also decided to enchant my other fishing rod and got lure 2, so I combined both fishing rods and went fishing. I saw my sugarcane was fully grown, so I used the paper I had gotten and bought another mending book. I went fishing again and caught a respiration 3 book. I wasn't getting much XP, so I built another layer to my mob grinder. This made it a lot more efficient. I wanted my chestplate to have protection 4 and unbreaking 3, so I disenchanted it and re-enchanted it only for it to have unbreaking 3. So I re-enchanted it and it had protection 4 and unbreaking 3. I put mending on my chestplate and enchanted my boots with protection 4. It had depth strider, unbreaking 3, and protection 4. And after a while, I finished enchanting god armor, and the next thing on my list was to defeat the game. The first thing I did was get a looting 3 trade and put it on my sword. I killed enderman for ender pearls. I found a fortress and killed blazes to get blaze rods. I made a pathway from that fortress and found another while doing it. So I made the tunnel go through that fortress. I arrived home and made my eyes of Ender. I did end up getting more pearls, just so I could be on the safe side. And then I threw my first eye. I found the village, and found the stronghold, and finally found the portal room. I broke the spawner, I placed my first eyes of Ender, and then completed the portal. Heads up, I just want to say I've never actually completed the game by myself, so this was a big accomplishment. I got onto the main island, made an infinite water source, and I began the fight. I started to take out crystals, and bridged up to the locked one. I broke that. And then I was finally ready to kill the dragon. I hit them when they purged, shot them when they were in the air, and finally killed the dragon. I gathered the dragon egg and went through the end gateway. I began the search for an end city. I found an end city, and there was some pretty good loot in there. I made it to the end city ship, killed the shulker, looted the chest, and at last took my elytra. I also grabbed the dragon head and flew right towards the end gateway. I went through and went back home. I started organizing my loot into shulkers and enchanted my elytra with mending. I also made a pretty good axe. I made a storage room and it turned out pretty good. 1.19 just got released, so if this video gets 15 likes, I'll make a video about it. Subscribe!